welcome back, and thank you for tuning in once again. As you have read in the title, this video I will be talking about your love language. So, of course, I did not come up with this. This is actually a method or a thing created by a man named Dr. Gary Chapman, and he created this scale, and he's written many books about it. I actually have one book, and it's about the love languages in the workplace. This is what it looks like. Woo. And yes, but love language, you can use your love language for any type of ship. So any type of relationship, friendship, workship, like any ship, anything involving other people. It's really good to know what your love language is. Okay, there are 5 different categories of what your love language could be. And let me just mention that like for me, I'm tied for 2 as my love language, as my top 2. So it doesn't have to be one thing or another. If you take the test, it scales it by numbers. So it could be 8 and 8 are your top 2. So the 5 categories are words of affirmation, acts of service, quality time, physical touch, and tangible gifts. So I can basically just briefly explain what each of those means, even though it's kind of self-explanatory, but I can go into details as to what that means for you inside your ships, your relationships. So words of affirmation. If you are high in words of affirmation for your love language, that means that you would like to hear the good things that you're doing, or you would like to hear that you look good today, or you would like to hear that you lost a little weight. You would like to hear those things. So if you're high in quality time as your love language, that means that you prefer to be in the same vicinity with that person. A phone call or a FaceTime might not do it. You want to be with that person. You want to be able to look at them, reach over and touch them. One-on-ones are most likely preferred for people who are high with quality time. Acts of service. So if you are high in acts of service, you prefer people to do things for you. As far as like relationships, if you come home to a clean house and you didn't leave with a clean house, you will really jump for joy for that, because you're doing something that you didn't necessarily have to do, picking up some things that you needed, or running some errands for you, or if it's in the workplace, helping you with a project, like physically helping you complete a project. All of those are considered acts of service, something that you necessarily don't have to do for that person, but you're willing to do it. Tangible gifts. So let me just say that first off, if you are high in tangible gifts, that does not necessarily mean that you're materialistic, or that you're conceited or anything like that. It just means that you feel the most loved when someone gives you something. If someone does a random act of kindness and leaves you flowers, or if somebody writes you a note, or if somebody takes you out for dinner or lunch, like those people have a special place in your heart, because you are high in tangible things. Like you like to see the love, as opposed to someone who's high in positive and affirmations, who likes to hear the love. And then the last one is physical touch, and that is kind of self-explanatory, especially when it comes to romantic relationships. You prefer to be cuddled, you prefer to hold hands while walking in an outing. As far as the workplace, you may physically need a pat on the back, or you may actually need a high five when you've done a great job. So physical touch can mean different things in different aspects of your life. So I think knowing your love language is very important when it comes to interacting with other people. And I think that that's true, because you then better know how to interact with that person. If you know that this person is very low on physical touch, they do not want you touching them, they don't want you high-fiving, patting on the back, that's something that you should know. Like you need to know those things, because you don't want that other person to feel uncomfortable or feel like they can't, really explain why they don't they don't like it, you know, but just to know that they're low on physical touch and they don't really like that sort of thing can better help that relationship, especially if it's in a workplace. And let me just say, physical touch is tricky in workplace situations because in actuality, there's many rules on not touching each other in general, you know, so that can definitely be very limited to someone who is high in physical touch in the workplace. When it comes to relationships, I would highly recommend both parties taking the love language quiz, and I will link it below for anyone who is interested. But in a romantic relationship, you should probably know what your partner likes and what your partner doesn't like. So in a situation where your partner is high in words of affirmation and you are not giving them words of affirmation, your partner can feel slighted. Your partner can feel like, does he or she even really love me? Because they're not telling me that they love me. They're not telling me I look good today. They're not telling me this, that, and the third. And that could just cause a rift by just not knowing that your partner needs to hear you say, I love you. Your partner needs to hear you say, you look good today. And that's something, if you're willing and if you are invested in your relationship, I don't think that's a hard thing to try to implement by just saying, oh, you look good today, you know? Or if it's physical touch, when you're walking, just grabbing that person's hand, you know, their stomach will start fluttering with butterflies because it's just like, oh my gosh, he or she touched me, like we're a thing, you know? So if it makes your partner happy in any one of these aspects, do it. Just do it, and vice versa. Be vocal about what you want in your relationship. If you want physical touch, say you want physical touch. If you want more quality time, say you want more quality time. Closed mouths do not get fed. We have to be advocates for ourselves in our relationships as far as what we need and what we don't need. So, what do we do when our love languages do not match? That's such a great question. Very tricky. And honestly, within that relationship, you guys are going to have to communicate. You guys are going to have to talk, and you guys are going to have to compromise. And if you're not compromising and you're not talking, that is a huge problem in a relationship in itself, you know, because you don't want to be into something where you're not happy, and you don't want someone else to be into something where they're not happy. So a conversation is going to be had. If you're very low on something and a person is very high on something, meaning that you don't think it's important in a relationship, but they think it is extremely important in a relationship, you guys are going to have that conversation, and you guys are going to have to talk. And if that's something that you're not willing to give, then you have to think about how that makes that other person feel. Like, are they happy? If they're not happy, why are you with them? If you can't make them happy, if you're not willing to give an inch to make that other person happy, you should question your validity in the relationship, because that's not fair to the other person. So definitely be willing to compromise. If you're low on something and your partner is high on something, sit down and talk about it. Say, so what can I do that won't make me feel uncomfortable, that will meet your needs as well? Like, where can we meet in this? And you know, eventually as time passes on, you may be full in to give them. You may be sending positive affirmations left and right, you know, when you're used to doing it. So just because it's foreign, or just because that's not something that you do, that doesn't mean that you shouldn't do it to please your other partner, especially if it's something as far as comforting them or making them feel important in the relationship, which they should feel anyway. As human beings, we are forever changing and forever evolving, so that applies to your love language as well. Within my ship, I have taken the love language twice, and I've gotten different scores, not too far off, but they are different. So I strongly encourage, if you have taken your love language quiz, to take it again, to see if there has been any changes in how you prefer to be loved. All right, so I enjoyed talking to you guys about love languages. I hope you take the test. I hope you pass it on for others to take the quiz, and you are better prepared to love, you know, and you're better prepared to be in healthy relationships. So thank you all again for watching and tuning in, and I'll see you guys in my next video.